Artificial intelligence is basically rewriting the rulebook for everything, and that absolutely includes crime. While we're all seeing the incredible benefits of AI, bad actors are using that very same technology to launch fraud attacks that are more personal, more precise, and frankly, more dangerous than anything we've ever seen before. Today, we're going to dive into how this new arms race is really playing out.
Just let that sink in for a second. What if a scammer knew not just your name, but also knew about that big project that was stressing you out last week, or that vacation you just posted photos from? Well, that's the scary new reality of AI-driven fraud. We're not talking about generic spam anymore. This is hyper-personalized deception on a massive scale.
All right, so before we get into the weeds, I want to be super clear about where this information is coming from. Everything in this explainer is drawn directly from an analyst brief on AI-driven fraud, published by the industry experts at Frost & Sullivan, so you know we're getting this right from the source.
Okay, so first things first, let's really get a handle on the problem. We're going to look at how criminals are weaponizing AI, taking all those old familiar scams we think we know and giving them a dangerously sophisticated upgrade.
I mean, we all know what a classic phishing email looks like, right? The terrible grammar, the weird, suspicious links. Yeah, those days are pretty much over. AI can now whip up perfectly written, context-aware messages that mimic human tones so flawlessly that they're incredibly hard to spot.
And really, the ultimate prize for a lot of these scams is something called an account takeover, or ATO for short. This is the big one. It's where an attacker doesn't just snatch your password. They get complete control of your online account, often by blending a whole bunch of tactics, from that slick new phishing to even hijacking your live sessions.
And wow, this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? On the left, you've got that old style we all learned to ignore. Dear sir/madam, click here. But look at the right. The AI-powered version is a whole different animal. It sounds like a real person. Hi, Alex. Hope you had a great time in Mexico. Here's that expense report link you asked for from HR. It's personal, it's timely, and it is devastatingly effective.
So check this out. This data from the FBI's Internet Crime Report shows something really interesting happening. While phishing complaints actually dipped a bit, probably because our email filters are getting better, look at the spike in personal data breaches and extortion. So what does that tell us? It suggests the criminals are changing their game. They're using the data they've already stolen to launch much more targeted and much more profitable attacks.
Okay, so that's the threat to us as individuals. But what does this look like for businesses? Well, for modern companies, this isn't just an annoyance. It's a massive, massive challenge. They are caught in this constant, high-stakes balancing act between security, keeping customers happy, and navigating a tangled web of regulations.
And this table from the report really breaks it down into three core pressures. First, there's the need for immediate detection. We're talking about spotting fraud in real time, in milliseconds, across millions of transactions. Second, the compliance pressures are just huge and they're always changing. And third, the financial hit from a breach can be absolutely staggering. We're talking everything from huge fines to losing customer trust for good.
And if you want a real sense of that compliance pressure, just look at this list. And believe me, this is just a sample of the major fraud and data regulations that companies have to deal with all over the world. It's a complex, expensive, and constantly shifting legal maze.
So, with a threat this smart and this complex, how in the world do you even begin to fight back? Well, the answer isn't just about building higher walls. It's about a total shift in strategy. We are now entering an era of adaptive defense. It's all about fighting fire with fire, or maybe more accurately, fighting AI with AI.
The first pillar of this new defense, it's all about speed. We're talking about real-time detection. This is where advanced AI models sift through literally billions of signals. Things like device fingerprints, how a user navigates a site, transaction patterns, all in the blink of an eye, to stop fraud before a transaction is even finished. Okay, now this next one is, I think, one of the coolest shifts in strategy: intelligent obfuscation. The idea here isn't just to block attackers, it's to actively mess with them. Think of it like creating a digital hall of mirrors. You plant fake data, you mask real information, and you basically confuse the attackers and turn their own automated tools against them.
And that brings us to the third pillar, something called behavioral biometrics. And this is seriously powerful stuff. It's not about what you type, it's about how you type. The unique rhythm of your keystrokes, the way you move your mouse, these are deeply human patterns. A bot can steal your password, but it can't steal the way you behave. It's almost impossible to replicate.
All right, so that's the theory, right? Real-time detection, deception,
biometrics. But what does it actually look like in practice? Well, the Frost & Sullivan brief points to a company called Memcyco as a great case study for how these adaptive defense ideas are being used in the real world. The whole philosophy here is a major shift away from the old way of doing things. You see, the old model was all about takedown. You find a fake website, you report it, and you wait for it to be taken down, usually long after the damage is done. The new strategy is about active disruption. It's about getting inside the attacker's process and breaking it from the very beginning.
So Memcyco's core tech is called POSA, which stands for Proof of Source Authentication. What makes it so different is that it's designed to spot the very first step of an attack, the reconnaissance phase. That's the moment an attacker starts poking around your website, trying to copy it. The goal is to stop the attack before the fake site is even built.
And the way they do this at scale is pretty mind-blowing. By using a kind of persistent digital tag, like a device DNA, they've mapped over 500 million unique devices. This creates this huge intelligence network that can instantly tell the difference between a real customer and a machine that belongs to a known fraudster. And when you look at this list of what POSA can do, you can see how all those ideas we talked about, that adaptive defense, it all comes together. It's not just one tool. It's about identifying victims in real time, proactively fooling attackers with decoy data, and even shutting down tactics like SEO poisoning, where criminals try to trick search engines into promoting their fake sites.
So, where does this all leave us? What's the big picture for the future of digital trust? I think the big takeaway is that the game has fundamentally changed. The fight for cybersecurity is no longer about building bigger, stronger fortresses. It's about setting smarter, more adaptive traps.
The bottom line is, to have any chance of staying ahead of AI-powered attacks, our defenses have got to be just as smart, if not smarter. They have to be proactive, predicting where the next attack will come from. They have to be preemptive, neutralizing threats at the earliest possible moment. Really, it's the only way we're going to preserve the digital trust that our entire online world is built on.
Which kind of leaves us with this one big, fascinating question to chew on. As our enemies get smarter and more automated, maybe the best defense isn't a better shield, but a better illusion. In this crazy new age of AI, could it be that deception is actually the new defense?
And there you have it, a deep dive into the new era of AI-driven fraud, all based on the fantastic analysis from Frost & Sullivan. If you found this explainer helpful, do us a huge favor and click that like button and subscribe to the channel. Honestly, your support is what keeps this going and allows us to create more explainers just like this one. Thanks for watching.